Following the events of Dragon Ball Super Battle of Gods, the outcome of having Beerus show up and battle our heroes on Earth has forever changed the face of Dragon Ball forever. Following Beerus' arrival, Goku and Vegeta took it upon themselves to further request guidance and train with the absolute strongest to reinsure their positions as warriors. However, what if Goku and Vegeta were not the only ones who went and trained with Whis? What if there was a third student who took responsibility in becoming the absolute best he could possibly be again prior to slacking off? This is the story of Gohan training with Whis as we take a look at how Gohan's life was forever changed following his encounter with Frieza, and now having to take liberty in catching up with his training, and what better way than to do so than by training with the absolute best. As once more, before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. And if you guys love and enjoy Dragon Ball and cannot wait to see more, then be sure to go on ahead and slap a big fat like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up, along with checking out the official Dragon Ball fan mangas playlist located down in the description box below, to where there you will be able to find all the latest and best Dragon Ball fan mangas created by the community for the community. So be sure to take a minute to go on ahead and check that playlist out located down below as we kick off the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Ascension of Gohan manga chapter number 1 special on Beerus' planet, as the narration further goes on to clarify 2 months after Frieza's resurrection before Goku Black. And on Beerus' planet itself, we observe Beerus having to overlook Whis and Gohan having to train, with Beerus having to state, "Now this should be a very interesting battle. Let's see what you can do, Gohan." As Gohan and Whis stare each other down, Gohan quickly takes action as he is the first to move against Whis, as Gohan cries out, "I'm not going to fall behind in my training anymore. Give me everything you've got, Whis." Which, if you pay close enough attention, it appears that Gohan is wearing the same gi that his father wore when he was training with Vegeta and Whis, further indicating the fact that Gohan had possibly requested to be trained by Whis following Frieza having to almost kill Gohan before his friends and family. Gohan now had finally found the passion to actually make something of himself as he quickly tries to move on in. Gohan's first course of action is to attack Whis by any means, and we get to see that based on our observation of Gohan having to throw as many punches as he can. He then out of anger goes on to ask Whis, "Why aren't you taking this fight fully?" And Whis is being so casual in his approach, smiling, keeping his eyes closed, basically moving without the train of thought, the same thing he'd been teaching Vegeta and Goku to do since the beginning. No matter what Gohan is attempting to do, every single one of his attacks against Whis fail, as Gohan then goes on to cry out, "Is that all you're going to do? Stop deflecting and fight back, Whis." To in which, as Gohan continues in his relentless assault, Whis then goes on to ask Gohan, "What makes you think you're worthy?" Ho ho ho. In being able to so casually step back and using his staff and knocking Gohan down onto the ground, Whis then goes on to tell Gohan, "You still have so much to learn, Gohan. Your mind is clouded by the events of Frieza nearly killing you on Earth." And as Gohan stares back up, he goes on to tell Whis, "Because I was powerless to do anything in that fight to make a difference." Which indeed, now we know Gohan's motivation, and that was because during the time of Frieza's arrival, Gohan felt like he couldn't do anything at the time to truly make a difference. As only then Whis goes on to tell him, "Well, dwelling on your weakness won't make any difference in your training either if you continue to think like that. You have to focus your mind on what's in front of you." As Gohan then glares back, he goes on to tell Whis, "I was once the most powerful warrior the Earth has ever seen, even going as far as to at one point even surpass my dad. You can't understand." As only then Gohan sticks his hand out in his attempts of blasting Whis with an energy blast. Whis then goes on to say to himself, "Oh my, it seems like he's beginning to finally take this as serious as I'd hope he would." As he then goes on to tell Gohan, "Well then, if you felt as if you have let yourself down, then I think it's time you pick yourself back up and become the warrior you were always destined to be. And Whis says this as he's casually just dodging all of Gohan's attacks, so the frustration of Gohan being powerless in his fight against Frieza is what's eating him up inside. As Gohan once again goes on the offensive, he cries out, "I won't fail again!" But all Whis does as a response is smile at Gohan and telling him, "You'll have to move much faster than that if you hope to even come close to touching me. Ho ho ho. Now, try again." And try again Gohan does. And I really love Whis' observation, because Whis is telling Gohan, in order for you to keep up, in order for you to have any chance of even coming close to touching me, you're going to have to increase your speed. You're going to have to do a lot better than what you're doing and how you're performing right now. Which Gohan attempts to do, but Whis goes as far as to casually block all of Gohan's punches with just simply one finger. So indeed, Whis is teaching Gohan the ways of having to increase his power, increase his speed, but also remaining focused. As during the course of this battle, Whis manages to grab onto Gohan's hand as Gohan asks, "What the?" with Whis responding, "It's as I said before. You'll have to move much quicker than that if you ever dream of even touching me, let alone actually hitting me." As only then he takes it upon himself in dropping Gohan down onto the ground again, so casually. As Gohan eats dirt, he goes on to say, "Damn, how are you doing this?" To in which Gohan had never been in a situation like this before, but he quickly picks himself back up as he attempts to move on in and kicking Whis in the face, but Whis doing what he does best and simply dodges all of Gohan's attacks. So here at least Gohan is trying to the best of his ability to even come as close to keeping up with a being such as Whis. Whis quickly teleports right in between Gohan, and with one single chop, he chops Gohan in the ribs, to where a simple tap not only knocked Gohan on down to the ground, but also hit him with such force that he's literally coughing up blood. And as Beerus is overseeing this, he goes on to comment, "Well, that must have hurt." Although he's still moving, Whis looks down at Gohan as he goes on to comment, "It would seem that you are overthinking each move you are about to make. You are not allowing yourself to fight freely at all." And to the bravery of Gohan, he's still managing to somehow keep himself in this fight. Even though Whis is so casually just giving him the smallest amount of offense, to Whis it matters greatly, because even one of Whis' attacks is able to knock out even a God of Destruction, as we've seen in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods when Whis chopped Beerus once in the back of the neck, which ultimately knocked Beerus out during the course of that engagement. So with Gohan having to still somehow move, he still wants to be a part of this fight. And as Gohan finally stands back up, he somehow manages to power up in channeling more of his inner energy, as Whis then goes on to comment, "But your will to continue is indeed respected. Now, come." And come Gohan does, because once more, despite having to be at a significant disadvantage, he dashes on in his attempts of fighting Whis once more. And once again, as Whis is deflecting and dodging all of Gohan's attacks, Gohan goes on to cry out, "It doesn't matter how powerful you are, I won't fail anymore." As he continues, "Now let's see how much your body can handle this." And as Gohan attempts to kick Whis, Whis suddenly vanishes, teleporting behind Gohan, as Gohan goes on to say to himself, he's gone again. Damn him. How is he doing all of this? As Whis suddenly appears, he goes on to comment, "Remember the pain of what it would be like to lose your family, Gohan." So as Whis is dodging all of Gohan's attacks, he's also trying to mentor him in letting him know, listen, you have to remember the pain of loss. You have to remember what you're fighting for. You also have to be very focused in your approach and extremely rational in your strategy. As Gohan had never encountered a being like Whis before, we observe how they then begin to battle all throughout the skies of Beerus' planet, as Beerus then goes on to comment, "It appears that the Saiyan has some fire still left within himself." As the Oracle Fish is with Beerus, the Oracle Fish goes on to comment, "If he continues to train like this, then it's likely for him to easily be able to surpass Goku with this amount of pressure." Basically alluding to the fact that Gohan has more potential than Goku, and if Gohan continues to train the way he does, then he's going to blow away even his own expectations. As meanwhile, back with Whis and Gohan, Whis is still countering everything that Gohan is throwing at him. As Gohan then goes on to comment, "I will never give up. Ever. You can't possibly break me or break my spirit. I'm tired of these games. As Whis so casually laughs, he responds to Gohan, that's the way. However, you are still leaving yourself open, which could throw your entire game plan out the window. Allow me to show you. In further demonstrating the fact that Gohan, although on the offensive, still leaves himself open to attack, as Whis had not only countered one of Gohan's punches, but also went as far as to blow Gohan away in the sky. As Gohan is sent hurtling out in the distance, Whis goes on to tell him it's over, but is it? As Gohan's body is sent flying out, Gohan sits back up while in midair and charging up a massive energy blast, smiling back at Whis and letting him know, no, this is far from over, and firing this energy blast directly towards Whis, but Whis easily dodges, of course moving completely out of the way. Gohan quickly takes this opportunity in moving directly for the kill. As Gohan quickly dashes back at Whis, he goes on to cry out, think again, Whis! And as Whis prepares to flick Gohan away, suddenly Gohan changes his focus. Instead of punching him right away, he grabs onto Whis' arm, as only then he goes on to tell Whis, I finally gotcha. As he proceeds to throw the punch that he was initially attending, Whis moves out of the way, but is still very pleased at the end result of what Gohan did. As Gohan then goes on to tell him, it took everything I had to try and counter you, but hey, at least I was able to touch you. As they both end up smiling, Gohan comes to the realization that indeed, he was able to come up with a brief strategy in touching Whis. Even though he barely grazed his face, he was still able to do something during the course of this battle. As only then Whis goes on to tell him, I must say, you did impress me. You're slowly starting to improve and are much better than how you were when you first came here. As Gohan then responds, and besides, you're really fast too. I couldn't even keep up with your movements no matter how much I tried. I don't know how my dad and Vegeta are able to keep up with you, but it must be because they're always training and never slacking off. But then that's when Beerus steps in, because he goes on to reply to Gohan and letting him know they don't. Neither Goku or Vegeta can even come close to fighting Whis. As Whis then steps in, he goes on to comment, well, I will say, they have improved since originally coming here, but it's like you said, neither of them gave up. No matter how intense the training was, the only reason they have become so powerful is because of their own will to act and get better. As only then Beerus goes on to comment, but despite how strong they currently are, they still can't hold a candle to my true power, even as Super Saiyan Blue. They are still very far behind me, so don't start getting any ideas, Saiyan. As the manga chapter special comes to a close. Now, what I really appreciate about this fan manga special is the fact that they're capitalizing on Gohan's execution following the events of fighting Frieza, because even during the time when Frieza came back after his initial resurrection, Gohan stood face to face with the tyrant and was unable to do anything in his own ability to protect his family, to protect his friends, and to protect the planet. So initially what I really enjoy here is the fact that Gohan is using that as a tool to further himself in getting stronger in never having to go back to that situation, which is a concept in and of itself that they should have taken with Gohan ever since the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, and further going on to re-establish Gohan as a fighter. But instead we have fan mangas now that are taking that perspective and molding Gohan into something much better than what we've seen early on in Dragon Ball Super, which we are going to be reviewing part 2 to this manga tomorrow, so be sure to go on ahead and tune back in to find out what happens with Gohan, Whis, and Beerus on his planet as the training continues. But again, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's say in theory, if Gohan did somehow train with Whis, how strong would he become in comparison to Goku, Vegeta, even comparing his power to Beerus? Where would you guys place Gohan, and how strong do you think he would get within X amount of time if you guys want to include the events following Frieza's resurrection, before Goku Black, after Goku Black? I want to get your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, if you guys are stoked, ready, and excited for more awesome Dragon Ball fan manga content and many other things, then be sure to go on ahead and slap a big fat like on this video and give this video a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, guys, and join the army. Turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. Tune back in for more. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Links will be located down below. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tune back in for more. Let the story of Gohan and his redemption continue, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes, but Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!